Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. So today I just wanted to go through the Chanel Elemental Quad, the eyeshadow quad from the Spring Summer 2020 collection. So I just put up a swatch video on Friday afternoon, and that kind of went through my first impressions of the items I picked up from this collection. And this quad I was really kind of on the fence about, and I really wanted to play with it more before I gave you guys like my real opinion. So I've played with it a bunch all weekend, and I've worn it the last few days. Longevity wise, you know, it's stellar. I had about 10 hours without primer yesterday with no creasing. At around the 10-hour mark, that's when I noticed creasing. So somewhere, it might have even been like 9.5 hours. I'm not sure because, you know, obviously I wasn't checking that frequently. But, you know, around the 10-hour mark is when I noticed creasing on the eyeshadow. But this quad, it looks darker in the pan than it does on the lids. So if you are looking for a nude, kind of like light, natural look, I think this is a great quad. I think it looks very sophisticated. We've got two satin finish shadows and two matte finishes. For me, this pink matte is kind of like my base skin tone, so it doesn't really show up too well, which makes it actually a really nice transition or base color for me because it does help the shadows apply seamlessly. The peach, you know, is a little bit warmer tone. I think it's going to be great for spring or summer. I really love peachy tones in the spring and summer, and I think this will be a great addition. I could even just use this on its own with some eyeliner. I think that would be great. These two colors, this is what I wore yesterday. I wore these two all day, and I wore them to a holiday party. And I really, really like the way these two work together. You've got this taupe, but it's like a pink-based taupe. So I wore this all over with this darker shade in the outer third. And this is like a light chocolate color, but if you look closely, there's maybe like a tint of khaki green in it. You don't really notice it most of the time, but in certain lighting, you do see a little bit of a green undertone there. And I love green eyeshadows. So overall, I think these shadows are great. They blend very well. They last very well. Just, you know, you have to be expecting something that is going to be very light and subtle. And I think these give a really nice, sophisticated look to the eye. The finish it's amazing finish. I love the finish. So I think it gives a really nice look to your eyelids, the texture and so forth. But again, it is going to be very light. So those of you who need to wear like really sophisticated makeup for work and things like that, like my sister's job, she can't wear any like bright colors or anything. This would be a great eyeshadow quad for somebody in a profession like hers. It's a really nice quad and I really like it. And I'm actually really glad that I purchased it now. I really was skeptical when I first tried it on. I wasn't sure if I would like it as much as I do, but it's really nice. So I like it. This is part of the permanent collection. So the Spring Summer 2020 collection, everything is permanent except for the new highlighter. The highlighter, Eclat Doux. This is a limited edition. I love this highlighter. I wore this yesterday as well. I had it on for at least 12 hours. And at the 12-hour mark, you know, you could still see it. It had faded a bit, but it was still definitely there. And you can see on my face right now how subtle that sheen is. But yeah, it blends so nicely. So I thought it would be darker than it is, but it's a beautiful rosy shimmer color, and it's a subtle highlighter, and I think this will work well for a lot of people. So I think, you know, these two, the quad and the highlighter together, give a really nice sophisticated look, and I personally like pairing it with a deep lipstick as well to kind of amp that up. I think that, you know, kind of gives it just another touch. Yesterday during the daytime, I did wear it with a nude lipstick. I actually wore it with Lisa Eldridge's Fawn lip color, which you can see here. It's going to be a nude. Here, I'll put that on my hand. So that's the fawn color, and I thought that, you know, it paired very nicely with that as well. So those are my final thoughts. I really do recommend these. but I would recommend swatching the eyeshadow quad in person if possible first. And since it is part of the permanent collection, you don't have to worry about rushing out to get it. The other items, I have the two eyeliners. Those are fantastic. I'll go into those more in the demo if you stay tuned. So the two new colors are 36, which is Contour Mauve, and 34, which is Contour Brun. And this is like a nice deep cocoa color. And this is kind of more of a clay type color. And I think it looks really nice. And since it is in these instead of the more traditional eye pencil, you know, that has a pointier tip, these are really nice to smudge out, which for the Contour Mauve, so far in my experience, just based on how light this color is, I feel like to make it look really nice, it does need to be smudged out, because for me, if it's too close to my lash line, it starts to look a little too peachy. And my eyes are super sensitive. They get red very easily, and it's not something I want to accentuate during the day. So if I don't smudge it out, I feel like it accentuates the redness that I get there. But when I do smudge it out, it looks very kind of like a natural enhancement, and it goes very well with these elemental shades. And I think it's going to be great for a spring summer look, because it's going to be kind of nice and bright, and it does help brighten up the eyes. So those are my opinions on all of this. If you are interested in learning more about the elemental quad, please stay tuned. We'll go through the swatches and this eye look that I'm wearing now. And thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Okay, so far on my face, I have the Clé de Peau Radiant Cream to Powder Foundation. So that's this guy. Very, very light coverage, really creamy, natural feeling texture. And then I have the Kosas Contrachroma blush. I did not use the highlighter, just the blush side. And then I put on the Chantecaille Eclat Doux, the face powder from the holiday collection. So, and then the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel and the Sisley Stylo Lumiere under my eyes. So that's everything I have on my face. And it is time for a highlighter. And I've been playing a lot with the highlighter and the Elemental Eyeshadow Quad from Chanel. So I just wanted to go through that a bit more today. So this is the highlighter. I stuck my big finger in there, of course. So it looks kind of messed up, but it's a beautiful, beautiful pattern on here. And if you have not seen my swatches video, here's the highlighter. It's very powdery, but it has, like, it smooths out so nicely that when it's on your skin, it actually has more of a creamy feel. So this is the highlighter here. And you can see just how subtle it can be, especially on somebody who's got more of a fair, rosy skin tone. And yeah, it's got a really nice amount of shimmer. So I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to use the Sonia G Sculpt 4 brush. And this powder comes up very easily. You can see you get a lot of kick up with the powder, so you kind of have to be careful. So got a little bit too much there. All right, so just wanted you guys to see this highlighter going on, because it gives the most magnificent, subtle highlight. I really, really love this highlighter. And I feel like I've been saying that a lot with all of these Chanel highlighters. They've just been fantastic. I think Chanel has been hitting them out of the park. And this one, I didn't think I'd like it as much, because I wasn't sure how the coloring would work. I thought it would be darker than it is. But, I mean, look at that sheen on, I don't know. It's amazing. I really like it. So yesterday I wore all of the new Chanel products. Well, let me take that back. I wore the highlighter and the Elemental Eye Quad and the eyeliners it was over 12 hours that I had them on. After 12 hours, I checked the highlighter, and the highlighter was still showing up. You know, I could still see it. It was subtle. I think it had faded a bit from when I had first applied it, but it was still definitely there. And the Elemental Eye Quad, it did start creasing after about 10 hours, and that was with no primer yesterday. The eyeliner, no smudges or anything. It held up the full 12 hours I was wearing it. and it looked great. So, all right, let's move on and go to the Elemental eyeshadow quad. So this is the lighter toned eyeshadow quad. Warm Memories is the other one that's out, and it's a lot more mauve-y and rosy toned. And when I got this, I was surprised because it looked darker than the swatches I saw online. However, it does not actually lay down dark on the lids. So when I first put it on, I was kind of like, am I going to like this? It's not really showing up that much. But I've played with it a few times since then, and I actually do really like it. It is very, very subtle, but I think, so we've got these two colors here. These are both satin shades. So yesterday I wore just these two. So I laid this one down all over my lid and just did this in the outer third of my eye. And it was a beautiful, really sophisticated look. And it's really, although it's a satin finish, it's really more of like a matte satin. So it gives kind of a, I don't know, kind of like a sophisticated polished look. And since these colors are really light, they're just a little bit, they show up on my lid, but they don't show up a ton. There's not a ton of color payoff on there, which isn't actually a bad thing, at first I thought it was. But it actually ended up just giving me this kind of like really sophisticated look to my eye and kind of polished everything. So if you're looking for something really light and natural, this may be a good fit for you. If you're looking for deeper colors, in my opinion, this is not the quad. All right, so let me swatch the eyeshadows again. This first color is like a taupey color, and it actually has a bit of a rosy tone underneath it. So it's kind of like a warm taupe with a hint of pink. The color next to it is a matte shade, and it's going to be a light matte pink color. You can barely see it on there. Add a little bit more. So it's very light. It actually really blends in very well with my eyelids because I do have a lot of pink in my skin. And the bottom left is the deepest color. This is the brown. And it's kind of like a light cocoa. And actually, if you look kind of closely, there's like a tiny, tiny hint of a little bit of khaki in there. And this is the more shimmery shade. So both the first one and this one are satin, and you've got a shimmer in it. But this brown one, you can actually see tiny, tiny bit of micro glitter. It's actually not noticeable at all in the eyes. These are such a light satin finish that they really do have not a true matte look, but more of a matte look than typical satin finish shadows for me. And then the last one is a peach. And get some more on there. So it is kind of like a true peachy color. So it's definitely warm. It's a warm tone peach. Okay, so these are the elemental shades. And I think let's go ahead. I did an initial eye look with these in the first Chanel video. Again, I'm not going to do this one again, but I really, really liked just using these two shades. This one all over the lid, and then this one in the outer third. I thought it was a great look. I wore it to a holiday party, and setting it off with a deep lipstick looked really nice. So today we're going to go in with more of the matte shades as well. So we're going to start off with the peachy shade. I'm going to put that on the inner third. And this is the Sunji Worker Pro brush. All right, so you can see that it really just kind of gives a nice base look to the eyelid. So it kind of, I don't know, I think even this peach color is more pigmented on my lids than the matte pink, but I think it really plays nicely with the other shadows, and kind of just, if you were to use this all over, I think it's a great peachy look for the summer. For this time of year, I'm not quite ready for that yet, so I'm using it primarily in the inner portions and so forth, but this is a spring summer quad, and I think this will be great for spring summer when you're looking for more of that lighter makeup look. All right, so I also want to go in with the light pink in the crease. So I'm going to go in with the Sisley Crease 2. And I'm just going to get some here on the tip. I'm going to tap that in first. And then just kind of sweep it across my crease and up to my brow bone. I'm going to get a little bit more there. All right, so you can see how light that shade is on me, but I think it really kind of blends well with the other shadows. So I like to use it as a base color myself. So again, the outer half of my eyelids has nothing on it yet. I'm going to go in with the taupey color. I'm going back to the Worker Pro, but I'm going to use the side of the brush I did not use. And I'm going to put that taupey color on here. Just going to put a little bit more here. So you can see how well it blends. You can see how well it blends with the peach. You can't really see much of a difference there. These shadows blend very nicely, but again, they are very light, so it is harder to see mistakes in here as well. All right, and next I just want to go in with the outer corner with the deeper color, and I'm going to use the Sisley Mini Booster. So I'm going to drag any excess into the crease. So if you look, you can see that there's definitely more of a shimmer on that outer portion where the taupe is. But overall, these shadows, they are very light, they're very neutral. I think they're going to work well on fair skin, light skin, and you know, they're obviously going to have a different effect on deeper skin. Probably, in my opinion, not quite suited for that. But overall, I do think that these give a nice neutral eye look, and you know, I think it looks pretty sophisticated. So I'm liking these shadows. So let's go ahead and in the last video I used the Contour Mauve eyeliner, and this time I'm going to use the Contour Brown. So this is the Contour Brown, and here I'll actually put both of them here. So it's kind of like a cocoa color, and the mauve is more of a clay type color. So you can see it's kind of like a deeper version of a mix between the taupe and the peach. Okay, so I like this one, and I think it's really nice for the daytime look. I do kind of have to smudge it out or add some darker shadow on top of it because it gets a little peachy, which I don't necessarily like around my eyes because I have incredibly sensitive eyes. So anything that touches them makes them water, so they get red very easily. So that's just something I'm not a huge fan of. So this is the Contour Brown, number 34. And down here at the bottom is a little sharpener for the tip of these. These eyeliner pencils I think are great. I really like them. Obviously they're not as pointed as maybe like a typical pencil. So it's really nice for that kind of smudged out look, which is how I like it. All right, so I'm just going to go in and smudge that out. I'm going to use the Sisley Smudger 2 brush. All right, so that's it for that. Let me finish up my mascara, my lipstick, and I will see you back here in a minute. Thanks. Okay, so I am back, and I just added, I added a touch more highlighter because, well, why not? And I also added the Rouge Majestueux lipstick. This is number 847 from the Chanel Holiday Collection, and I have it topped. It's slightly pinker than this, but I have it topped with the gloss from the Holiday Collection, number 826. So that's what I have on my lips. And I think, you know, adding like a red lip with this is, I think is a nice look, personally. So that's it for this eye look. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please leave them down below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video. And just one quick note, I did order the new Camellia lipsticks from Chanel that were just released a couple days ago, and I'm hoping to get them Christmas Eve. So maybe after Christmas, we can do a video with that. But they look gorgeous. So if you haven't checked them out, they are online at Nordstrom. They are not on Chanel's website. So take a look. There are 8 colors, I believe, 4 luminous finish and 4 matte finishes. So I got a few of those to try. So I'm very excited. There are also new lip liners, by the way, which I haven't gotten yet. I wanted to see them in person to pick the colors. But they look great as well. So again, the lip liners are also on Nordstrom with the lipsticks. They are not on Chanel's website yet. If you look at the lip liners on Chanel's website, those are still the older formula. So it's a new formula that was just released. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.